For someone who is sitting for placements and want to focus on resume, again, you have to choose a domain which you want to work in, like which you find interesting, and then start working on that. Again, there are a lot of resources like Udemy, hai, you have your YouTube. So jahan pe bhi you find a good resource, start learning about that domain and then start building projects. I don't think there is a set path for everyone to follow. It depends on person to person. But I think one of the things that worked for me was that at least some positive attitude, right? For example, let's say when I got my internship rejection, I was positive ki, theek hai, next time if I get that opportunity, I'll be working hard towards it. You should not focus on the end result. You should not focus on the destination. Focus on the journey. Matlab, if you start loving or enjoying your journey, I think it will be very good.
Hi guys, welcome to the AccioJob YouTube channel. My name is Vaibhav. I'm a software engineer at BrowserStack, and today we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Parv, and he is an upcoming SDE at Google. He's going to join Google in the month of July, which is just 1 month away. And let's pick his brain on how he got selected, the entire selection process, and how did he develop his interest in software programming. So let's hear it from Parv, everyone.
Hi Vaibhav, thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So,
yeah.
So you are selected at Google. कैसा लग रहा है?
Kaisa lag raha, I think this has been the question like everyone asks around, right? So it's like right now it is pretty chill, but jab selection hua tha, I remember matlab everyone was very happy, including me. Jab bhi news aati hai ki yaar aapka selection ho gaya, so that is the time you feel okay, you have achieved something. But at that time also it is like theek hai yaar, this is just a process. Again, you just have to focus and at that moment and enjoy the moment. But uske alawa to yahi hai ki it's bahut time ho gaya ab to, so it's pretty chill.
How was the reaction from family, friends?
The reaction was, I mean, the point was, I think, जिसका होता है उसको ऐसा कभी feel नहीं होता कि you have done something special because you have been the part of process, right? So when you have been the part of process, you know कि you are the one who is holding nerves. But yeah, family's reaction and everyone else's reaction around me was like pretty good. I mean, I remember मैं बता के आया अपने parents को, and so basically I remember the result came out pretty late at night because it was a campus placement. So रात को 11:30 के around result आया, and then I told my mom first. So she started crying because she was really happy that I got into Google. So yeah, I mean the reaction was pretty good. ऐसा होता है कि you nourish and you cherish that moments.
Yeah, nice. So do you already know folks at Google? Someone your seniors or someone who is already there, who is there to guide you?
Yeah, right. I think हमारे college में से भी हैं कुछ लोग, and apart from that, by LinkedIn पे you connect with people who are from your Google and other companies as well. But हाँ, I know a few seniors, like मेरे कुछ दोस्तों के elder brothers and sisters, they're working at Google. Yeah.
So before the interviews, you got help from them on how the process is and how to, actually crack into this giant.
Right. So I actually texted a few of my seniors who are actually working in Google. So one of them is, I think, just my next senior. So basically 1 year senior. So I texted him asking कि कैसा process होता है, and generally because you text, you try to Google कि यार हाँ क्या process होता है, but उसमें it varies from different positions and different colleges also sometimes कि कुछ colleges में कुछ specific चीजें पूछ लेते हैं. So I texted one of my seniors because again he also got through, he also went through the same process, I guess. तो मैंने उनसे पूछा तो he told me कि हाँ यार ऐसा process होता है, and don't worry, you should focus on these points and बाकी चीजों को you can neglect, at least for the, because SD1 level पे when you are going, so उसमें you can neglect these points, so you'll be good to go. Definitely, I think वो चीज रहती है कि right, I think वो चीज रहती है कि when you interact with seniors तो वो एक sense of पता चल जाता है कि हाँ ये चीजें पे focus कर लेते हैं. So most of the times वो that help is something, or that guidance is something that can answer most of your doubts at that moment. कि हाँ यार इन चीजों पे focus कर सकते हैं.
पढ़ाई and preparation एक जगह है, but the connections help you get places, right?
Yeah, even I think off campus maybe I've heard a lot of people texting and asking कि LinkedIn के ऊपर कि they'll text you and ask कि I have been selected for the interview process. Can you guide us on what has been asked and what is the general procedure? So I think this is very good. This is something that is happening, that people reaching out on LinkedIn and asking. that is really appreciating, and
Now,
this thing can really
you
help
are in,
the
yeah, you are in your senior shoes basically. You are guiding others now.
right. I mean, not even my juniors, अभी तो ऐसा हो गया कि because Google is hiring aggressively, so even my batchmates, a lot of them are getting the interview calls. So उनसे बात होती रहती है कि हाँ यार इन चीजों पे focus कर लो. These are the things that are most probably asked, right? So बहुत बार होता है ऐसे अभी तो, right? Correct.
So, I mean, let's go a few years back. How did you start developing your interest in programming, and when did you decide you want to become an engineer?
Engineer बनने की यार जर्नी बहुत I think I am one of those people जैसे आपने बहुत बार सुना हो कि Three Idiots is one of the movie which was very inspiring, right? तो जब Three Idiots रिलीज हुई थी, I remember मेरी फैमिली बैकग्राउंड में no one is an engineer. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि मेरे मॉम डैड को आइडिया था कि हाँ मुझे इंजीनियर बनाएंगे या फिर डॉक्टर बनाएंगे, and I didn't have any interest in that. I had no idea what an engineer does. तो जब Three Idiots रिलीज हुई, I was really fascinated. मतलब मैंने मूवी देखी, I remember I was really fascinated कि यार हाँ machines होती हैं. That made me start कि ठीक है, देखो कि machines हैं, the things around us are not working ऐसे. There are people who are making them work, right? So a lot of people at least take that for granted कि यार कंप्यूटर चल रहा है तो वो चल रहा है, मतलब it's like a human, right? चलना चाहिए तो चल रहा है, but ऐसा नहीं होता. There's a lot of hard work that goes into working.
Lots of moving parts behind you.
Correct. So basically वही था कि Three Idiots देखी and I was really fascinated by that. तो डिसाइड किया ठीक है इंजीनियर बनेंगे. नो आइडिया कि कंप्यूटर साइंस क्या होती है, मैकेनिकल क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रिकल क्या होता है, कुछ आइडिया नहीं था. तो फिर 9th 10th में ठीक है डिसाइड हुआ इंजीनियर बन जाएंगे. तो उसके लिए आई स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग, जे दिया 11th 12th में, राइट. एंड उसके बाद नॉर्मल प्रोसेस था कि हाँ एवरीवन वाज डूइंग द सेम थिंग. सबने जे की प्रिपरेशन की, सबने पीसीएम पढ़ा, राइट, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ा, फोकस किया अपना जे प्रिपरेशन पे. मतलब उसके बाद ये था कि ठीक है अब इंजीनियर बनना है. तो आई गॉट इनटू बिट्स. लकीली दैट वाज अ गुड थिंग कि हाँ बिट्स में चले गए तो ठीक है अच्छा कॉलेज मिल गया. बट उसके बाद ये आइडिया नहीं था कि क्या करना है, राइट. मतलब डिसाइड कर लिया इंजीनियरिंग करनी है, कौन सी करनी है उसका कुछ आइडिया नहीं है. सो इट स्टार्टेड विद डिस्कसिंग अगेन. सीनियर से बात किया कुछ. देयर वर सीनियर्स फ्रॉम माय कॉलेज, देयर वर सीनियर्स जिनको मैंने कहीं ना कहीं से ढूंढ के अपने दोस्तों से पहचान निकाली कि ओके लेट्स टॉक टू देम अबाउट व्हाट डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस दे आर वर्किंग इन एंड व्हाट हैपेंस एज व्हाट इज अ करियर पाथ. मतलब इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग में क्या रहता है, व्हाट डू यू स्टडी अबाउट, एंड उसके बाद आपका करियर पाथ क्या रहता है. So again, machines में मैंने said कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट था. तो one of the things that was really fascinating was computers. मतलब I was really fascinated कि यार computers कैसे काम करते हैं. एक चीज है जो हमारे लिए बहुत सारी चीजें कर रही हैं. At least a lot of automation was happening at that moment. So how does computer work and how, like, what is the science behind it? So फिर कुछ बात हुई and again coming from a very middle class family, तो ये भी देखना होता है कि यार अच्छी जॉब लग जाए after end of your college, right? तो उसमें भी ये चीज थी. तो again decided कि ठीक है इंटरेस्ट अभी तक जितना सीनियर से बात करा इट इज मोस्टली इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग या फिर कंप्यूटर साइंस. मतलब मैकेनिकल में मेरा इंटरेस्ट नहीं था. आई वांटेड टू लर्न अबाउट कंप्यूटर. तो मैंने बोला हाँ इलेक्ट्रिकल में भी सीख सकते हो. सो फिर अगेन ये कंफ्यूजन था. आई वाज रियली कंफ्यूज कि इलेक्ट्रिकल लेना के कंप्यूटर साइंस लेना. एंड आई हैड नेवर डन प्रोग्रामिंग बिफोर. मतलब ऐसा नहीं था कि हाँ मतलब मेरे पास 11th 12th में कंप्यूटर साइंस ही मैंने पढ़ी हो. तो बेसिक प्रोग्रामिंग कभी नहीं करी थी. तो ऐसा भी आइडिया नहीं था प्रोग्रामिंग में क्या होता है, कोडिंग में क्या होता है. तो ठीक है टफ कॉल था. आई टुक कॉल की ठीक है कंप्यूटर साइंस लेते हैं. अगेन डिपेंडिंग ऑन स्कोप ज्यादा है एंड इलेक्ट्रिकल इज समथिंग की डिपेंड इट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी कंपैरेटिवली लाइक कंप्यूटर साइंस थोड़ी ज्यादा हार्ड रहती है, राइट. सो आई वाज लाइक कंप्यूटर साइंस ले लेते हैं एंड लेट्स गो इनटू कॉलेज एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट प्रोग्रामिंग. तो फिर कॉलेज गए फर्स्ट ईयर में.
So, I mean, just going back from college, 2 steps back, what was your first programming language and which year did you start coding for the first time?
Right. So, first programming language was C. मतलब मुझे पता है कि I went into college and हमारे यहाँ ऐसा होता है कि I think most of the colleges में होता है you have your basic programming course in your first year, right? तो उसमें हमको C सिखाते हैं. So that was my first programming.
You are telling me that you coded for the first time in college.
Yes, right. तो मतलब फर्स्ट टाइम कॉलेज में कोडिंग किया.
अच्छा. और फिर how was your first year, second year? When did you get introduced to DSA? Because I mean बिना DSA के Google होना नहीं है.
Right. मतलब हाँ. So वही कॉलेज गए. I was pretty confused कि what should I do technically because you don't know what programming is and आपको ये भी सीखना है कि हाँ मतलब what is the road map कि अगर आपको कुछ चीज करनी है you have to achieve your goal तो what you have to do. So I think again very good thing about bits is कि you have really great seniors मतलब who have done really good, right? So I met them and I talked to them कि यार क्या करना चाहिए. So they guided me again कि they told me कि DSA होता है. There is something called DSA which you will study. College course भी होता है, but you should start studying it as soon as possible. And उसके लिए you first need to start with programming, मतलब fundamentals आने चाहिए. So I think I started with DSA. I was introduced to DSA after my first year. पहले I think second semester of my college I did my programming course जो C में था. उसके बाद I started with C++ and DSA after first year जो summer break होता है उसमें I started. So उसके अलावा तो ये होता कि because I had to do it myself and I had no idea. So I preferred to take a paid course कि मतलब मुझे था actually if I get something structured from which I can study. So I started with that and continued with that for next 3-4 months. तो उसके बाद I think basic तो समझ आ जाता है.
So I think that in both your answers you have highlighted the importance of having a good network. I mean college में भी there were seniors and Google का hiring process में भी you were able to connect with Google alumni and they were able to help you with the skills.
Right.
So how did Google happen? I mean, in your placements, did they come or what was the process? How did Google come into your life?
Right. So before that, actually, you mentioned right कि मतलब seniors का जो rule होता है. I think that is very seniors play a very vital role in your college journey, especially.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times I've heard people say कि यार अच्छा college नहीं लगा तो इसीलिए they are not able to prepare well या अच्छा कुछ they're not in the tier 1, tier 2 colleges तो उनको दिक्कत हो रही है. But I think what makes college, at least in India, because I've seen people from IIT, I have my friends who are from IITs studying from same resource online which I am studying from, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि वो resource paid है, it is free resource. YouTube पे मैंने भी पढ़ा, आपने भी पढ़ा, सबने पढ़ा, right? सबके पास वो YouTube का access है आजकल. So I think what makes, at least in terms of computer science, जो knowledge available है online internet के ऊपर, so I think it is very important for you to connect to the right person. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके कॉलेज में जो प्लेसमेंट सेल है या फिर आपके कॉलेज में जो आपके प्रोफेसर्स है दैट विल गाइड यू. ऐसा बहुत कम हो जाता है, राइट? अगर until unless you are going to research, right? So what makes a good college is mostly the people that are there in the college. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि प्रोफेसर की डिग्री प्रोफेसर का जो आपका पढ़ाने का स्टाइल है उससे you will say that college is good. Most of the time that is not the case. So it is really important that you connect with the right people. कोई भी हो सकता है, आपका सीनियर, आपके कॉलेज का सीनियर, आपके स्कूल का सीनियर, या फिर over the LinkedIn you connect with someone who can guide you, who can mentor you, right? Because once you connect with the right person, so the journey becomes easier. So that is one thing that I wanted to add. Coming to your question, ki what was the process at Google? So process was basically, I think, so basically again, what happened was, I remember first time for internships I sat in Google. So usme I was rejected. So that was again a very fun incident. तो हुआ ये था कि ड्यूरिंग इंटर्नशिप सीजन आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग एंड आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द कंपनीज टू कम. सो फर्स्ट टाइम आई सैट फॉर गूगल, आई वाज रिजेक्टेड एंड उसमें द स्टोरी वाज दैट पहले तो गूगल आई नहीं थी हमारे यहाँ पे. व्हेन गूगल केम, सो उन्होंने कोडिंग राउंड लिया. सो उस कोडिंग राउंड में आई थिंक देयर वर 2 क्वेश्चंस दैट वर आस्क्ड एंड आई वाज एबल टू सॉल्व बोथ ऑफ देम. बट उसके बाद नो वन फ्रॉम आवर कॉलेज और in general, because that was an off-campus process, so usme no one heard back for a month. So we thought, okay, maybe they don't want us, or we had no communication whatsoever. So we were like pretty confused what is happening. Uske baad again different companies came to college on campus. Usme fir Microsoft I got an internship offer from there, Microsoft mein se. Then I was happy कि ठीक है, at least one offer मिल गया. I'm pretty happy. Microsoft again is a very good company. But फिर just when Microsoft happened, उसके 3-4 दिन बाद मेल आता है गूगल का कि you have an interview. So I was like, okay, that is good. I mean, I got an interview call and I asked my friends, a couple of them also got them, कि उनको भी call आ गया था interview के लिए. तो we scheduled the interview. And off campus में होता है कि you are the one who decides when will the interview happen and when, like, what process do you want to follow if you are available at that time. So everything was given to me. I chose the interview slots कि ठीक है यार ये वाले slots है, I am available at these. Interview हुए, first interview went really well. That was, I think, उसके बाद I was pretty confident, हाँ यार गूगल के लेवल का भी हमको आता है अब. So that is something I was feeling, I was very happy about. But जैसे second interview हुआ उसमें I think what I would say that went a bit on the क्या बोल सकते हैं कि वो इतना अच्छा नहीं गया. मतलब it was, हाँ मतलब वो इतना अच्छा नहीं गया, but it was not bad. It was not कि I did not answer anything. The only thing was that I took a lot of time to answer the question. So it was scheduled for 45 minutes, but it ended up going on for 60-65 minutes. So I think that was one of the sides. And in internships, I had heard कि यार ये लोग बहुत they look for very crisp answers and they want you to have very good speed as well as accuracy. दोनों चीजें होती है because intern में they won't give you another opportunity. Intern के time पे they are very aggressive कि यार either you are selected or you're not selected. They won't give you another interview generally. So I was like, ठीक है यार interview तो खराब गया, but I was still expecting because I answered the question. So I was expecting कि ठीक है यार maybe क्या पता they gave me another chance of interview जो भी. But 3-4 days later I got a mail saying कि यार नहीं हुआ. So I was like, उसके बाद I think one thing I realized was कि ऐसा नहीं होगा कि you cannot take anything for granted. मतलब आपने 2 questions solve किया, आपने सब कुछ सही किया आपके according, but still there is a scope of improvement. So right, you cannot get complacent. So वो था internship के time again. I was happy that I got Microsoft, but there was also one part of me which was sad and which wanted to get into Google because I just wanted to prove myself. Yeah, I am eligible and I can do that, right? I can get into Google. It is not something that I cannot do. So again, nothing happened for the next couple of months. So this was in, I think this happened in October 2020, right? Uske baad, a couple of months I did not do anything. So I was active in CP. I used to do that, competitive programming. So couple of months went away. College के हमारा semester चल रहा था. So उसके बाद again I started my journey. I was very regular in solving problems on lead code forces. जहाँ पे भी मुझे time लग के जब भी whenever I had an opportunity, so I started solving questions again, right? And this time I knew कि okay, these are the things which I need to focus on, like advanced make graphs हो गया, trees, DP, and these things. So I started focusing on more on them. कि I knew कि ठीक है basic तो हो जाएगा, but इन चीजों पे focus करते हैं. Yeah, pretty much it. उसके बाद फिर I think 2021 में so Google came into our campus for the first time actually. वरना उससे पहले everyone used to get placed off campus, but for the first time because Google is hiring aggressively, they came to our campus for on-campus placements. So I got a mail कि Google is coming and you should start preparing. So I was like, okay, let's prepare. But उस time my internship was going on. I was interning at Microsoft. So उसके बाद I think I did not prepare anything because I was pretty busy in that internship. I was caught up there. So Google आया, I submitted my resume. So by chance what happened was they did not take a coding up. They preferred that time कि उन्होंने resume shortlisting कर लिया. And my resume became very good after interning with Microsoft. मतलब जो project था that was a good one. So resume shortlisting के base पे I got selected. In that I was shortlisted for interviews. And again, a lot of people who had good resumes, all of them were mostly selected, right? At least they got a chance to sit for interviews. So interviews were, again, interviews ka process is pretty standard. I think mostly they take 3 interviews for your full-time offer. Like they'll have 3 interviews mostly based on DSA, and they have something called Googliness round. So Googliness round is something like they won't have any. Right. So उसमें HR round नहीं होता है. There is no like proper HR round, but what they do is they'll ask you questions based on your behavior. They'll ask you questions based on different situations which you might face, and they'll check your behavior, right? Like how do you fit into their culture? How do you behave in certain scenarios? So that is what they check, and they call that Googliness. So these were the things that again my seniors already told me कि मैंने बात करी थी कि what happens. So they told me कि Googliness round होगा, मतलब they'll ask you a couple of questions as well as DSA questions. They won't focus on other things like low-level design and anything of that sort because they don't expect that at entry level. So it's okay. So उसके बाद I prepared for a couple of days. I revised my concepts. DSA में one thing which really helped me during my internship season as well as for Google was that I had prepared notes. Like when I was studying, as I mentioned कि मैंने course लिया था, तो I had prepared notes, right? So I went through that notes because what happens is a lot of times when you're out of practice in DSA, that can be for a couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, right? So you have a tendency to lose speed. मतलब आपको याद रहेगा, but you will not be able to solve questions very quickly. So I think that was the thing. So I wanted to get into that zone of problem solving again. So I started solving lead code questions. जहाँ पे I was able to extract out the list of top 50 Google questions. Right, you can find that anywhere. Google कर लो कि top 50 Google interview questions, you will find the list. So उसमें से I solved around 20 questions and basically just to get myself into that zone of problem solving. उसके बाद the rounds happened. So first round में again DSA, second round DSA and googliness, and third round again DSA plus googliness. And third round के बाद I was like, इस time मेरी इतनी hopes आई नहीं थी because last time I had my hopes high, but नहीं हुआ था. So इस time I was like, ठीक है, नहीं भी होगा. Yeah.
Did your internship rejection come up in the job interview?
No. So internship rejection for Google you're asking, right?
Yeah.
हाँ. So internship rejection, no. So उसमें they don't ask. I don't think they have that data. At least the interviewer doesn't have that data. And I think what can happen, in fact, I remember internship जब rejection आया था, when I got the mail, उसमें even they wrote it कि right now we don't find you fit for that role, but we would be interested if you can apply again later sometime, right? So they were interested for me to applying full time. So I remember I even contacted my recruiter in meanwhile कि hey, I am available and I want to interviews. So by chance मैंने जब mail किया था उसी time Google आ गया on campus. So that was not something that उस mail की requirement नहीं थी, but हाँ, I sent that mail out and Google on campus ही आ गया by chance.
Okay. So I mean, you had key learnings from your internship rejection already, and that helped you in your actual job interview.
Right. तो मतलब वो तो yes, correct. मतलब internship से एक चीज पता चल गई थी यार कि Google का process is not that like ऐसा होता है कि a lot of companies ask one question in DSA, right? One question and they are done with it, right? मतलब one hard level या medium to hard level lead code question and they are done with the interview. But Google का process and Google के questions are framed in such a way that there will be a follow-up question, which I was not aware about in the during the internship process. मुझे idea नहीं था इतना कि हाँ वो लोग prefer करते हैं at least you solve 2 questions in an interview, right? So I was not aware about that. But हाँ, when I got rejected and उसके बाद मुझे था कि I knew about the process, about the kind of questions they ask. So that is something that really helped for sure. Yeah. But again, वो चीज भी थी कि हाँ, so वो चीज भी थी कि because I had been rejected in the internship, so मेरे को ये था कि I had a point to prove. Again, nothing कि I wanted to just do. Yeah, ऐसा नहीं था कि मुझे करना था, but I was like, let's do it and I'll just get done with it. Even if I'm not selected, at least I want to give it a try.
Nice. So you have highlighted the importance of DSA. I mean, I think everybody highlights the importance of DSA. उसके अलावा resume was good. That was another pointer for. Can you explain some of your good projects? I'm sure you might have had good projects on your resume list that got you an edge over the others.
Right. So I think resume में mostly what they see is what kind of projects you have done and what is your area of domain, right? So for me, the area was web development mostly because during my college, I had not done projects as such, but I was focusing more on DSA. I was focusing more on problem solving skills. So जो main project था that happened again through Microsoft. मतलब I got internship and internship में I got lucky that I got a good project. So I was working on that. But for someone who is sitting for placements and want to focus on resume, again, you have to choose a domain which you want to work in, like which you find interesting, and then start working on that. Again, there are a lot of resources like Udemy, you have your YouTube. So जहाँ पे भी you find a good resource, start learning about that domain and then start building projects. So building projects will build something that is, you can, one thing that, for example, like web development, one thing that happens is, when you build a project, so usko host kar do somewhere, right? Maybe you have some free hosting websites jahan pe you can host your project and then keep a link to that. So resume mein wo link dal do, right? So someone who is going through your resume might be able to see that and see, okay, you have done some real world web development. ऐसा नहीं है you're just writing it in, ऐसा नहीं है कि resume में लिखा, but that there is a proof of that work, right? So something like this sort you should prefer कि real world में you can build something and then give a proof of that.
So how much of the part of your Google interviews involved about projects? I mean, I'm sure a major part involved DSA questions, but they also asked you about your projects and your past experiences.
So Google में, and in general, I would say in most of the companies जिसमें मैंने interviews दिया है, they don't focus a lot on, at least in the interviews, they don't focus a lot on your projects. मतलब generally, projects and resume is something that will be looked upon during your first phase, like for example, your shortlisting phase, right? तो वहाँ पे your resume should stand out. and it should be in that format. Again, focus on that. The key points are highlighted, because ऐसा तो होता नहीं है. A person is looking at your resume. Most of the times it is given through a scanner, and वो scanner picks up the key points and look for the keywords. Right? For example, मैंने web development लिखा, मैंने उसमें लिखा कि I worked on Node.js, Express.js, whatever. So keywords are something that computer picks. So you should write in that format. It is very easy to pick up. And उसके अलावा I think most of the time, I remember one of the interviews में मुझसे पूछ लिया था about my project. So it was involving कि ऐसा नहीं होता, they will go into detail कि आपने code कैसे लिखा. They will go into the design implementation कि आपने ये design क्यों prefer किया over the other. Right. So in real world also you will see that again. I think आप तो you're a SG in BrowserStack, so you will see that most of the times the questions that come up are related to design, not the actual implementation. Because actual implementation can be done, but design related जो questions होते हैं कि why did you choose this over this, right? Why did you not pick up this design, and why did you not pick up this technology? So that are the things that I think were asked to me. But as such, I don't think they go into very detail about how did you implement something.
So you will be joining Google in July, right? So
right,
are you going to office, or will you be working remotely right now?
So as of now, the communication we have is it will be hybrid. So we will mostly be joining offline. We have to relocate. Abhi tak to this is the information that I have. But again, it might depend on what COVID has for us. But as of now, it is hybrid.
So can you just, we are almost towards the end of the session. So can you just boil down the key pointers that you can just highlight that this is what you need to do and to get where you want for the viewers?
Right. Okay. So again, main thing is that I don't think there is a set path for everyone to follow. It depends on person to person. But I think one of the things that worked for me was that at least some positive attitude, right? For example, they say when I got my internship rejection, I was positive कि ठीक है, next time if I get that opportunity, I'll be working hard towards it, right? And one of the things that taught me was not to get complacent and not to think about कि everything is for granted. You should not take that, right? उसके अलावा तो again, focus on the basics, focus on learning with your heart, and you should not focus on the end result. You should not focus on the destination. Focus on the journey. If you start loving or enjoying your journey, I think it will be very good. Most of the times people focus on the end result and stress about that. So when I started preparing during my college journey, college ke time, so I think I had no such aim of joining Google या फिर joining Amazon, Microsoft. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. I was like, let me learn and let's see where I can get my hands. So ऐसा नहीं था कि I was focusing on कि मुझे Google ही join करना. So that was not something. So I would suggest everyone to just focus on the journey. ठीक है. If you are well prepared, if you have good skills and everything, so good companies are definitely looking out. इस time Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they're hiring very aggressively. So if you have the skills, right amount of skills, they'll definitely hire you. You just need to reach out to them. I am available for the interview. Yeah.
I think we were able to pick your brain really good. So yeah, thanks Parv for this session, and thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. So please let us know in the comments down below which parts you liked and what more kind of videos you want us to make. See you guys in the next one. Thanks.